Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Salinda Juliatri. I'm from class A1 English Education Study Program. I made this video to fulfill a final assignment by Ms. Rasi for theory of translation. So I would like to explain the material of theory translation that I have summarized from the first meeting material to the last material. Without any further ado, let's go to my explanation. What is the theory of translation? In linguistic, translation theory is the process of conveying the essence and intent of source text from one language to another, bridging the gap between different languages and cultures. This involves more than just linguistic equivalence. This requires a deep understanding of the cultural nuances and context in which the source text was created. In the theory of translation, there is a principle translation. The principle of translation between languages, the best summary and summary is the three-character motto: faithfulness, expressiveness, elegance. Simply put, the content of translation was faithful to the original text, which is called faithfulness, and the diction is smooth and smooth, which is called expression. Literary talent is called elegance. And what makes a good translation? The translator must do is flow and cadence, clarity, then accuracy and precision, expanding the target language, searching the original text, and emphasis on the target audience, showing respect for the original text and a historical view of the original text. Translation studies. Translation studies is an academic interdiscipline dealing with the systematic study of the theory, description, and application of translation, interpreting, and localization. The study of translation developed into an academic discipline only in the second half of the 20th century. Before that, translation had normally been merely an element of language learning in modern language courses. In fact, from the late 18th century, language learning in secondary schools in many countries had come to be dominated by what was known as the grammar translation method. Translation studies are divided into pure and apply, and then further grouped into other derivatives as shown in the picture. Translation studies are divided to pure and apply. Pure are divided to theoretical and descriptive. And theoretical are divided to general and partial. And descriptive are divided to product-oriented, process-oriented, and function-oriented. Partial are divided to medium restricted, area restricted, range restricted, text type restricted, time restricted, and problem restricted. And apply are divided translator training, translation aids, translation criticism. Partial theories of translation are divided into namely medium restricted theories subdivided according to translation by machine and humans, with various subdivision according to whether the machine computer is working alone, automatic machine translation, or as an aid to human translator, computer assisted translation, to whether the human translation is written or spoken, and to whether spoken translation interpreting is consecutive or simultaneous. And area-restricted theories are restricted to specific languages or groups of language and cultures. Range-restricted theories are linguistic theories that have been restricted to a level of normally the word or sentence. Text-type restricted theories look at discourse types and genres. Example, literary, business, and technical translation. Time-restricted theories, referring to theories and translation limited according to specific time frames and periods. Example, studying the history of translation. And problem-restricted theories can refer to certain problems such as equivalence or to a wider question of whether so-called universals of translation exist. The applied branch concerns translator training, such as teaching methods, testing techniques, curriculum design, and translation aids such as dictionaries, grammars, and information technology. Types of translation. Types of translation are divided. First, dynamic translation. Next, fragmented translation, aesthetic translation, ethnographic translation, and linguistic translation. Dynamic translation. Dynamic translation is also called a pure translation. In the process of translation, the meaning from source language is conveyed by using the natural expression in the target language. Everything that considered foreign or less natural but related to the cultural context in its disclosure are avoided in TL. For example, source language, the author is organized. This book since 1995. For the first translation, penulis telah mengorganisasi buku ini sejak 1995. And for the second translation, penulis telah menyusun buku ini sejak 1995. Pragmatic translation. Pragmatic translation is a focus in the accuracy of the information conveyed by SL. This translation does not pay much attention to aspects in SL. The example of this type of translation can be seen in the technical documents which shows the information and fact. Aesthetic fatigue translation. This type of translation focus on the aspect of aesthetic, feelings, and emotion. We can find aesthetic fatigue translation in the translation of literary works. A translator of literary works must be able to maintain not only the content but also the aesthetic aspect. This is why this translation also called literary translation. For example, translation of poetry, prose, and drama that emphasize emotion and language style. And this picture for example. Next, ethnography translation. The purpose of this type of translation is to explain the cultural context of source language and target language. Translator must be able to consider the different use of words which have similar forms and meaning in one language. They need to find the equivalent words in the TL to be able to describe limited cultural problems in the source language. And linguistic translation. Linguistic translation is a translation that only contains linguistic information that is implicit in the source language, which is made explicit in the target language. Before being translated, the sentence must be back transformed or its components analyzed first, so that the sentence can be understood properly. Example, John is willing to help. Second, John is difficult to help. Translation method. A translation method refers to the way of particular translation process that is carried out in terms of the translator objective. While translation methods relate to whole text, translation procedures are used for sentences and the smaller unit of language. To the next material, translation method. A translation method refers to the way of particular translation process that is carried out in terms of the translator objective. While translation methods relate to whole text, translation procedures are used for sentence and the smaller unit of language. Translation method. Method of translation based on new mark are divided source text and target text. For source text, there is a word-for-word translation, literal translation, faithful translation, semantic translation. And for the target text are adaptation, free translation, idiomatic translation, and communicative translation. Word-for-word translation. Newmark 1988 states the word-for-word translation method. Words on the target text are usually written after or under the source text. This method is also called as interlinear translation. Example: short language. This oil contains low fats but high calories. For the translation first, ini minyak mengandung rendah lemak tetapi tinggi kalori. And for the second translation in Indonesia, minyak ini mengandung kadar lemak yang rendah tetapi berkalori tinggi. Literal translation. Literal translation is independent of context. The translator usually translates the source text first like a word-for-word translation, then adjusting the words arrangement based on the target grammar. For example, so language, this oil contains low fats but high calories. Target language, minyak ini mengandung lemak rendah tetapi berkalori tinggi. The phrase "this oil" has been translated according to the structure of the Indonesian language as "this oil," and the phrase "low fat" has been translated as "low fat" quite well and is acceptable, even though the word "yang" can actually be instructed so that the translation becomes low fat. Likewise, the phrase high calories has been translated literally according to the phrase structure in Indonesian as high calories. The prefix ber actually has the meaning contained, which is in harmony with the verb contains in the source text. Faithful translation. Translator tries to reproduce contextual meaning from source text accurately through paying attention with the grammatical structure of the target text. For example, Jack is too well aware that he's naughty. Jack menyadari terlalu baik bahwa ia nakal. And the last one, semantic translation. This method considers the aesthetic text of source language through compromising the meaning as long as it still can be understood. For example, he is wearing a heavy jacket. For the TL, dia memakai sebuah jaket tebal. Translation method based on target text are adaptation translation. It can be said is the freeze form of translation for and drama. For example, if a vote adopts a drama script for play, then he must retain all the character in the original script and the storyline must be maintained. And next, free translation. Focus on content of the source text. The result can be longer than the source text, as usually paraphrased. For example, it's raining cats and dogs. The first TL, ini hujan kucing-kucing dan anjing-anjing, word to word. Second TL, hujan kucing dan anjing, literally. And third TL, hujan yang sangat lebat, is the free translation. And next, idiomatic translation. Translation idiomatic uses. And next, idiomatic translation. Translation idiomatic uses natural forms in the text. The TL is in accordance with its grammatical construction and lexical choices. For example, I can relate to that. For the target language, aku mengerti maksudnya. And then the last, communicative translation. Translating contextual meaning in short language text, both linguistic aspect and content aspect, so that they can be accepted and understood by the target language readers. Example of the sentence of awas anjing galak in bahasa Indonesia can be translated into beware of the dog, better than beware of the vicious dog. It means that the first translation showed the dog is vicious, so it doesn't need to add the word of vicious. And the next, material translation techniques. Basic characteristic of translation techniques. First, translation techniques influence the translation result. 2. Translation techniques compare source language with target language. 3. Translation techniques affect the smallest text units, for example, words, phrases, and sentences. 4. Translation techniques are discursive, logical, natural, and contextual. And the last one, translation techniques are functional. Translation procedure. The translation procedure is the activities taken to complete the translation. Procedure and methods are different. The translation method concerns the entire text, while the translation procedure applies to sentences and smaller language units, textual microunits such as clauses, phrases, words, etc. Translation procedure are divided as shift in form, shift in meaning, naturalization, contextual matching, not matching by the Newmark 1988. Shift in form. A translation procedure that involves changing grammatical form, source language to target language. For example, translating a plural pronouns in English into nouns single in Indonesian. Source language, a pair of shoes, and target language, sepasang sepatu. Shift in meaning are divided a mandatory modulation apply when a source language word or phrase has no equivalent in the target language, so it needs to be affaired. And free modulation, the translation procedure is carried out because non-linguistic reasons, for example, to clarify meaning, create meaning connection in the target language, look for equivalents that feel natural in the target language. And next, naturalization, transferring and adapting short language word first into normal pronunciation. And next, contextual matching, placing information in context so that the meaning is clear to the recipient of the information. And the last one, not matching. The translation procedure used if the translator translates words or expressions whose lexical equivalents don't exist in the target language at all. The other translation procedure, direct and indirect. For direct are transference, naturalization through translational, and indirect are cultural equivalent, functional equivalent, descriptive equivalent, synonym, composition, reduction and expansion, paraphrase, equivalence, and adaptation. That's all for me. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.